Howdy everyone, I'm Nihant Reddy Arwa and my two other group members are Kailash Hariharan and Mridul Sharma. Today we three are here to give a presentation on ethical dilemma in computer networks. Well, let us first begin with why do we need computer networks? Firstly, as a business expands, the equipment needed for this expansion also increases. Hence, the communication becomes difficult as the information need to be transmitted across all the devices. When a group of devices or computers are connected together, not necessarily in same physical location, is referred to as computer networking. When our computers are connected together, the transmission of data packets between the source and destination computers will be smooth without any false interferences. Coming to the advantages and disadvantages of computer networking. On one hand, the advantages include ease of accessibility, convenient resource sharing, great storage capacity, improved business communication, flexibility, and convenience. On the other hand, the disadvantages of computer networking include lack of proper data security and privacy, spreading of viruses and malware from one device to another, lack of independence and robustness. Moving on to the next topic, which is data security and its needs. When large amount of data is shared among different devices that are connected to the same network, data becomes vulnerable to viruses and malwares. Hence, computer networks must be secured to safeguard the data. Data security is the process of safeguarding the data from unauthorized access and theft throughout its entire life cycle by using techniques such as encryption and hashing. Strong authorization and authentication systems are the prime features to help keep the network secure. Authentication is a process of verifying users who are accessing the network. This is considered as a first step in any security process. Authorization is a process of giving access to specific files, resources, or functions. Organizations invest millions of investment to have dedicated teams to ensure the network is protected by working on authentication and authorization systems. There are different types of authentication protocols, which include multi-factor authentication, remote authentication, dial-in user service, which is also known as RADIUS, Microsoft Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol version 2, Password Authentication Protocol, and finally Kerberos. These are the few methods for authorization in computer networking. Authorizing access to files and folders to secure important files. When users are logged into a network or a computer, they need to be authorized with network resources. Implanting file system security, which enables administrators to assign permission to a particular person or a group. In order to make network resources more secure, administrators make use of a necessary tool such as file and folder permissions. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kailash Hariharan and I will be moving forward with the ethical dilemma that we will be discussing about in this video. Michael works in a company that deals with confidential data from the client. He's the only professional in charge of access management within the team. For the big presentation the following day, his manager calls him post working hours and requests access to the client's previous year's financial records, which have been closed out. The company's policies, however, requires that a due process be followed involving approval from the director and the client. This can take 2 to 3 business days. Should Michael provide access to the manager immediately, given that the manager is his superior, or should he follow the company's policy? There are two ways in which Michael can respond to this dilemma. Let us first look at the reasons for which he might choose to not follow company policy and provide access to his manager. One of the main reasons that he might choose to not follow the company's policy would be to meet the deadline. The multiple approval process in place would require time and possibly following up with the client, and this manager simply does not have the time for this. Not following the manager's instructions could have a negative impact on their working relationship and possibly Michael's performance ratings, and hence he has something personal to gain by building a good rapport with his manager. The overall objective of the manager in this case is to give a good presentation the following day with the required data, and this would be possible only if Michael provides access to him. Moving on, here are some of the reasons why Michael should follow company policy and not provide access to his manager right away. Following the company's policy ensures that the data is secure and reaches the hands of only those who are approved to access the data. There have been scenarios where access has been provided to the wrong individual or an individual has been given the wrong kind of access or role. This can be avoided if a step by step approach is followed. When you have more people involved, more people are accountable, and the responsibility does not lie completely on Michael. In this case, the manager is indeed a part of the organization and is most likely authorized to see the data. However, there might be scenarios where the individual is not authorized and hence the data can be misused and there are possibilities that the data leaves the secured network. Having more people involved in the whole process ensures that the responsibility is shared and people like Michael do not bear the brunt of the work. The company must try to educate and train all individuals about the company policy on data security and access management. How can an employee like Michael handle this situation? Since the data is confidential, there is no harm in reaching out and seeking help from experienced professionals in such scenarios. Michael may learn the company's policy on data security, especially if he is involved in authorization and access management. Michael should probably also discuss clearly with his manager regarding the policies and the risk involved, and probably report to the higher authorities if the manager continually insists on getting access. Thank you.
As seen in the previous example, protecting our data in a network is very important. I am Mridul Sharma and I would be discussing data protection in detail. Data protection is the safeguarding of our important information from corruption, compromise, or loss, and being able to restore it to functional state in case of any mishappenings. Three main categories are traditional data protection, data security, and data privacy. What are the different ways you can secure data? Encryption, using an algorithm to transform normal characters into an unreadable format so that only authorized users can read it. Data erasure, more secure than wiping. Data erasure uses software to completely overwrite data on any storage device. Data masking, it masks personally identifiable information wherever necessary so that development can occur in compliant environment. Data resiliency, it determines how well an organization endures and recovers from any type of failure. What are the various data security tools available at our disposal? Data discovery and classification tools. These solutions automate the process of identifying sensitive information as well as accessing and remediating vulnerability. Data and file activity monitoring. File activity monitoring tools analyze data usage patterns, enabling security teams to see who is accessing data, spot anomalies, and identify risks. Vulnerability assessment and risk analysis. These solutions ease the process of detecting and mitigating vulnerabilities, such as out of date passwords, softwares, and misconfigurations. Automated compliance reporting. Comprehensive data protection solution with automated reporting capabilities can provide a centralized repository for enterprise-wide compliance audit trail. Now, we discuss the various strategies that can be followed by companies to mitigate their risks. Physical security. Facilities should be protected against intruders and disasters. Access management. Access should only be provided to those people who require it. Application security. All software should be updated to the latest version. Backups. Usable backup copies of core components must be maintained at all times. Employee education. Employees should be trained in good security policies. network and endpoint security monitoring controls. Comprehensive tools should be used for threat management, detection, and response. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and a few minutes of cyber incident to ruin it. In conclusion, a robust data security system would have prevented the dilemma discussed in the video and is essential for firms to protect its reputation by protecting organization against cyber activities, insider threats, and human activities. Thank you for watching the video.